Yesterday I set the setting for Capernaum. Today I want to talk about a miracle that took place in Capernaum. And you can find this in Mark chapter 5 verses 25 through 34 and in Luke chapter 8 verses 43 through 48. I described Capernaum yesterday, and in this town, the miracle we're going to look at today and tomorrow is the miracle of a woman who had been struggling with the issue of bleeding for 12 years. Now I share this story because it shows the hope that this woman had. Jesus said it was her faith that made her well. But as I said on Sunday, hope requires action. Faith requires obedience. Hope that we have turned it in, I hope something happens, we've turned that into wishful thinking. But that's not the way the Bible describes hope. And I think we need to be willing to reclaim that word. So yesterday I discussed some of the miracles that Jesus did in Capernaum. And we might ask the question, well, if Jesus did these miracles in Capernaum, why hadn't this lady been healed before? Well, we don't know the answer to that. But let me just give some possibilities. Again, please understand, these are just possibilities. In Mark 1:32, it talks about the fact that many people came to be healed. Maybe this woman was one of the many people who had come to be healed by Jesus that night, that after the sun had gone down, after the Sabbath. The text says that the whole town had gathered around. Now, it doesn't say she's from the town, but her healing happens in Capernaum, so it's very likely. It says that all who were sick were there. Maybe it simply got too late. Maybe Jesus, maybe the disciples pushed people away. He's got to rest. He's had a long day. Jesus has to rest. You come back tomorrow morning. And of course, we know from verse 36 of chapter 1 that the people did come back, for verses 36 and 37. And Jesus wasn't there. He was out praying, and Peter and the other disciples had to go out and find him. So maybe she had even managed to come back the next morning. Maybe she had been there and people had pushed her away because, well, after all, that's just her. We know her, the condition she's in. Nothing can be done for that. Again, speculation here, but people are people. But instead of Jesus coming back maybe that morning and seeing her and healing her in that morning, coming back to take his bow, coming back to get his accolades, coming back to maybe heal others, his response is, it's time to go on, Peter. We need to go elsewhere. Well, I can imagine if she was a part of any crowd that had hoped to be healed by Jesus the night before or that morning, any hope that she may have had was now gone. After 12 years, it was probably gone already. But hearing about Jesus and seeing what he had done and hearing from others what he had done, maybe, just maybe, one more time, I'll allow myself to get a little bit of hope because maybe this is the person who can heal me. But now they were crushed. And then Jesus returned. But she had tried before. She was not going to be crushed again. The doctors hadn't been able to help her. They had taken all of her money. And in fact, as Mark says in chapter 5, verses 26 and 27, her suffering, her condition was actually worse after she had spent all of her money, after all the different doctors had tried to remedy her. And so when she heard Jesus came the first time, maybe she got up enough courage to go. But not this time. No. I've been crushed too many times. Casting out demons, yes, Jesus did that. Healing a lady with a fever and some other illnesses, sure, maybe. But me, I'm speaking as the woman here, me, I just can't go through this anymore. But then she heard about another healing. Jesus had healed a paralyzed man. Now that's not just casting out a fever from somebody. The man could now walk. They say that this man got up and carried his mat away. That's the scripture that Andy Braams, that's what I read, that he got up, stood amongst the crowd, carried his mat away. The crowd was amazed. Imagine that you were a part of that crowd that day and you are now buzzing with excitement, that amazement. Did you see? Did you hear? Were you there? Everybody knew about this paralyzed man. Probably everybody knew about this paralyzed man when he was still paralyzed. Oh, him? Yeah, don't you feel sorry for him? I mean, his legs just failed him. We don't know if he was a paraplegic or quadriplegic. We don't know. But everybody knew about this man, including this woman. And now she heard that he was healed. Does she dare think about getting her hopes up one more time again? She keeps getting her hopes up. She keeps getting disappointed time after time. But the pain kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And still you have to wonder if she thought it was possible. Jesus healed a paralyzed man? Well, we don't know what happens exactly. We don't know exactly this thought process that she had or how the events transpired, the exact timeline of the events. As I said on Sunday, maybe it was a very short window of time between that man's healing and what happens to her. But whatever happened, Jesus is gone again. Jesus leaves and he goes across the sea. She's missed her opportunity. Will he ever come back this way again? If so, when? Will I feel like going next time? I'm not going to be crushed again. Imagine the conversation that she's having in her mind. But now the crowd is beginning to gather near the water. She's hearing the words of Jesus coming from the mouths as they're racing by her house on the way to the water's edge, because they've seen Jesus in a boat. She decides to risk it. And that's where we'll pick up the story tomorrow.